Okay, I picked up a Glock 26 Gen 5 and just wanted to do a quick video on an issue I was having. Glock pinch. When I called the Glock people up, they didn't think there was any such thing, but this little gap right here, one of the things about Glock magazines is they can move back and forth, they can move side to side, and they can also move up and down. So you have three different planes where magazines can move. This is something that was completely new to me because I have a Glock 43 and its magazine basically doesn't move at all. It stays pretty much right where it is. A little bit of a shimmer back and forth, but not much. And there's almost no gap in here, and unlike the 26, this is just flat. You know, there's no lip on it, whereas this one, the 26, has that little overhanging lip right there. And that little lip is where my pinky was getting caught. Only the edge of my pinky though, not this part back here. And so it wasn't here on the left side, but over here on, I'm sorry, the right side rather. It was over here on the left side of the gun where my pinky was getting itself caught. And what was happening was, as I'm holding the gun, essentially I'm pulling the magazine back just with my natural firing grip, and my little pinky gets kind of stuck right in there. Okay, but then when it fires, it shifts forward, and so I would wind up getting pinched right in there. So first thing I did was I put on these pierce grips. Same thing happened, no difference. Then I took one of the pierce grips, and this little lip right here was ground down. Didn't make any difference. Tried the Magpul, and the Magpul mag, you know, it's supposed to fit a little bit tighter in there, but again, same thing. There's still that gap. It still moves, and according to Glock, that's perfectly natural for it to move up and down, side to side, and then also wobble back and forth a little bit. That's just part of what helps the Glock work. And so this same little area there was catching me, and so my initial thought was, great, I'm going to have to take this gun that I just bought, and I'm going to have to get rid of this little piece right here. But I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to take a chance of still getting a pinch, maybe from something else, you know, related to it. So what I decided to do was do a little magazine modification. This one has a little pierce grip on it, adds a couple extra rounds to it, and so my first attempt was to do this. I took a standard Glock mag, and I took a little piece of plastic. This was just a little piece of something or another. I think I found in the painting aisle of Home Depot. It's thin plastic, so I cut a piece of that off and I glued it on, and lo and behold, there's now very little back and forth movement. There's no side to side movement. There is some up and down movement, but not much. The problem is pushing the magazine release, and it ain't coming out. You have to pull, and I mean pull, to get this thing out. So you can forget about drop free. Magazine changes would be very difficult to do under stress, because you would have to grab this stupid thing and really give it a good yank to get this thing out. And the worst part though was when I went out to the range, so I thought, okay, I got this done, try it out, and pinch. Because there's still, even with this being as tight as it is inside the mag well, there's still just enough play right here in this little lip piece, right there, for my finger to get caught. Now, if you've got bigger fingers than me, I don't think it matters, because you know your second digit will, your index finger and ring finger will take up most, if not all, of the grip space, and then your pinky finger just winds up on the extension. And if I shoot it with a grip like this, it's just fine. I don't want to have to learn a new grip just, you know, to fire a gun. That seems silly. So I took that Magpul mag. Man, that thing is tough to get out of there. I initially had one of those in the back of the Magpul. I tried that as well, and that didn't work, so I just ground it off. Well, then I started thinking, well, what if I did a little more grinding? And so I took this Magpul mag, comes around like normal, and then essentially I just Dremeled off all of that. And I took it to the range, and I still had this little guy on him, and no pinch. So I ground him off, shot him, and again, no pinch. And so just see if I can get a little close up here on, you know, what I've done. you know, the magazine obviously looks terrible. I mean, you know, you can look at it right there, and that just looks all kinds of awful. I mean, it's asymmetrical and all kinds of things because, again, there was no pinch on this side, just on this side. And, you know, that little grinding piece, you know, grinding, try to get this so I can get the light to where it needs to be. Grinding that little piece down really seemed to help. I don't have any more pinch. And so this is a 12 round Magpul mag. If you are having a pinch issue with your 26 or 27, this may be a possible solution. Very low cost, just takes a little bit of grinding, you know, a couple of trips to the range. I'd bring a Dremel with you, and that way you can make sure it's exactly what it needs to be for you. And again, it just looks awful. I don't even know if the pictures are really capturing how terrible it looks, but function wise, yeah, it functions perfectly. So, you know, it's going to work. It's going to do the job for me. It's going to let me keep shooting the gun, which is a nice gun, and I really do like shooting it when it's not pinching me. And I don't have to change my grip, because now, let me put this back where he was. When he's locked in, there's so much of a gap right in here, there's nothing to pinch. So even though the magazine is moving back and forth, my finger can't, that little light in there, my finger can't quite get in that spot, or at least doesn't get in that spot. And so even though my pinky is kind of pulling back on this, when I'm holding it, my pinky basically sits a little bit on the lip of this, or on this lip I should say, and a little bit on the magazine. So when I hold it, you know, it doesn't feel uncomfortable, and it doesn't pinch, even though you still have that up and down movement, and even though I'm sure as I'm firing, the gun is still moving forward. Because of where it's been ground down, it's no longer pinching. So if you're having a pinch problem with your 26 or 27, grab an extra mag and get out your Dremel and just kind of experiment, find something that is fitting for you. And best part on this, unlike the magazines with the little plastic piece on there, and it's drop free, so I don't have to worry about, you know, trying to rip the magazine out. So anyway, that's my solution for the Glock 26 pinch.